A very good evening to you, and now the news from UTV. An independent review says householders ought to pay for water, but bills should be kept well below the charges announced by directorial ministers, as Jamie Delargy reports.
Nothing to pay next year for water, and after that, for the typical household, about £145 annually. Much less than what directorial ministers wanted to charge us, but still substantial. And very importantly, the water service gets all the cash it needs to run its business. So how did the independent review panel pull it off?
I would hope people would recognise that we have tried to be fair to everybody. We have tried our best to get a reasonable cost on an efficient system.
The panel argued we've been partly paying for water all along through the rates. From now on, that average payment of £160 will be clearly marked on bills. But even if the water service gets money from the rates, that still leaves it short of cash. The gap in funding is reduced by cutting costs. One big reduction comes from dropping the plan for water meters.
The other great saving, of course, that we're recommending is that we should not have metering, because metering costs about £47 per year on top of the bill, and we're saying let's have metering.
But even after all that, the water service will still need more money. So the panel has proposed we should start paying the extra charge of £145 from 2009. The independent review panel has showered us with lots of numbers, but in large part their document is political and not economic. It hinges on the claim that we've been paying for water through the rates, which not everybody accepts really was the case. Nevertheless, these proposals represent a compromise between full water bills and no charges. They've already been welcomed by the Consumer Council.
We aren't going to be asked to pay twice for our water. We already are paying it through our rates. But importantly, we do need to pay a little bit more. But there is an assurance that we will only pay what we need to and not a penny more.
Trade unions, which have been highly critical of the original water charging plans, have also welcomed the review panel's findings. The proposals will now be considered by the executive. Approval of the plans would be a popular move. Jamie Delargy, UTV Live.
Well, water charges have been an emotive issue, and Vicky Hawthorne has been gauging reaction in Lisburn and Portadown to the proposals.
There has always been strong public feeling against the so-called tap tax. There have been rallies, protests and even anonymous messages posted in towns and cities across Northern Ireland venting anger about the plans. But the likelihood is we're going to have to pay. Water charges will be included in our rates bills. So what is public feeling now? In Lisburn this afternoon, shoppers were feeling depressed about the latest proposals.
It's just money, money, money all the time. That's all you hear from them, you know.
And I thought when the executive came into the being things were going to be better, but instead of that they're getting worse.
I wouldn't be really happy about that. I think we pay enough with our rates, and I live in an area where the rates have gone up very, very high. And so I think we pay enough.
I suppose we just have to go on with it, you know, whatever happens, happens. And I say we don't like it much, but it's more money just coming out of our pocket, like. So hope our pensions will get a wee rise there too, then that maybe put up for it.
It was just political at the time when the election was coming up. No great shock, it was coming.
There's a dark cloud hanging over the people of Portadown too. Many here are under the impression they've been paying for their water through rates and are confused by today's proposals.
I'm under to understand we're already paying for them. And unless they take some money off the rates, yes, they can charge us for it again, so long as they lower the rates first.
I wouldn't be very happy about paying for water because I live on my own, and I just feel other people, you know, would be with bigger families, it wouldn't be very balanced.
I think will people be getting a reduction from their rates to cover the water charge? That's the main thing, because I run a business as well.
I suppose whatever happens, we'll not be able to do much about it.
It's probably no surprise that public opinion is still against water charges in any form, but the majority seem resigned to the fact that they won't be able to dodge them for much longer.
A fresh round of talks to break the deadlock in the classroom assistant strike is to begin in the morning. The Labour Relations Agency said it has invited management and trade unions to meet with its officials in Belfast, and both sides have accepted. Its General Secretary said it was entering talks to secure a resolution acceptable to assistants. The Education Minister, Katrina Wan, has said she welcomes the fact that these talks are taking place and is hopeful that both sides will work together. A component part of a bomb was found during searches in the Tullygalley area of Craigavon area. Susan Miller has the details.
Part of the Brownlow Road was sealed off when security forces returned to the scene of yesterday's arrests. 9 men were taken into custody in connection with dissident Republican activity following searches in the Drumbeg and Aldervale areas yesterday, and a gun and ammunition were recovered. The men are still being questioned at Antrim Serious Crime Suite. After yesterday's arrests in the Drumbeg estate across the road from me, this security operation started around 7 o'clock this morning and has concluded at around 3:30. The Army bomb squad was called in after a detonator part of a bomb was found close to a pedestrian tunnel underneath the Brownlow Road. Police and Army then conducted a thorough follow-up search of the area, but it appears nothing further was found. The detonator has now been taken away for forensic examination. Police said this afternoon the search operation to target dissident Republicans had been a success. Chief Inspector Pauline Shields thanked the public for their forbearance and cooperation. Susan Miller, UTV Live, Craigavon.
The Department of Education has said parents must prove their children live in Northern Ireland to combat so-called grannying. Pupils will have to provide documents verifying their address. It follows a ruling by the High Court last month that St Cecilia's College in Derry would have to find places for 3 schoolgirls who refused because they'd been taken by children living in the Republic. Their parents were using the addresses of the girls' grandparents. Sport now, and there's county final action in Derry, Down and Tyrone this weekend, and in Omagh they will have more than a few reasons to celebrate no matter what the results, as they unveil the very latest technology for the Healy Park Stadium. Adrian Logan has more.
It's now a state-of-the-art stadium after a £4 million investment from the GAA and Sport Northern Ireland. CCTV, computerised turnstiles, all linked to the space-age control tower in the sky. This high-tech innovation and facilities is based on the likes of Premiership football grounds, and Omagh is now the best equipped in Ireland.
Well, there's 11 fully functional cameras around the ground and 4 static cameras. The safety officer will have full control from here, and there's going to be there's 2 control officers, but they have full function of the cameras from this point. 2 monitors here and 2 monitors behind them.
Based around Croke Park, all the other facilities in this ground are now top of the range. The Tyrone County Board have spared no expense. Changing rooms, toilets, people with disabilities, all catered for in the new look Healy Park.
Well, the whole emphasis throughout the project has been on the health and safety and comfort of the supporters and players and officials. And as you see underneath the stand, the players have these magnificent facilities which are top of the range and equal to anything you'd see at Premiership level in England. And also for the supporters, we put a lot of emphasis on caring for people with mobility needs and installing a new automatic lift with extra invalid toilets, and also including a changing room facility for mothers and young children.
Well, here in Omagh we're joined by Tyrone captain Brian Daher. Brian, you have seen Omagh evolve as a ground over the years. You've had a quick look round today at the new facilities. It's absolutely fantastic.
It definitely is, Adrian. I think at the moment these facilities are second to none, and I'm sure any team that comes visiting here or has the pleasure of playing here over the next and any time in the future is going to be very mightily impressed by the new changing rooms and everything.
Changing of the guard off the field and on it. These new facilities will make their debut at Sunday's county final between the new boys Collisland and Dromore.
We're very proud of it, and anyone who comes here, including players, supporters, spectators, pressmen, they will have state-of-the-art facilities and be able to enjoy the games in comfort.
And in rugby, Ulster fell to their 3rd Magners League defeat in 4 games when they went down by 32-8 against Clonethley Scarlets tonight at Stratty Park. Tommy Bowe scored Ulster's only try of the game, with Paddy Wallace adding the other 3 points. Well, that's all the UTV news for now. The local weather forecast is coming up next. From all of us here, a very good evening to you. Bye-bye.